Okay, so today, in order to deepen our connection with ourselves, we are going to do this thing called a Nestr. And you may have no idea what I'm even saying when I say that, and that's fine, of course. Why would you? But I will get to that. I will explain. It's something that Jason Gaddis does. And so if you are not already familiar with his work, he has this really awesome project or business called the Relationship School, and I would definitely advise that you check that out. He calls it a meditation. And, I guess I can agree with that because it is a way to deeply listen to the self. But I tend to think of it more as this really active way to manage some of the big questions that we need to frequently ask ourselves. Some questions that can be kind of overwhelming, like, how do I feel right now? How do I feel about that? What's going on for me? I can tell something's going on for me, but what's going on for me? Because, ourselves are these huge, vast, complicated, layered things that have all the stuff from the past and all the stuff from the current moment and even worries about the future in them contributing. And they have, all the stuff that actually comes from us, but all this other stuff that comes from the outside in them too. So with all of that going on and all those layers, it can just get really complicated to just ask yourself a basic question like, how do I feel? Or what's going on for me? But we have to ask them. We need to know these things. These are part of knowing the self. And so this Nestr, because it's an acronym, it is Nestr, and I'll get to what each one of them stands for, is just like a method, a checklist. Go down each letter and ask yourself the questions within it, and you will arrive at this place where you feel more aware of what's going on for you, and you've got some answers, and so who doesn't need that? And that's what I love about it. It's like I have this friend, okay, and I'm sidetracking for a second, sorry, but she is always kind of sarcastically joking about but how do you really know if you know yourself? Or how do you even go about knowing yourself if you think you don't, And it's I get the jokiness in her question because it does seem like this crazy abstract thing to do, but this is my answer. Or at least it's not my full answer, but this is part of my answer. This is a very active way. It's not just this abstraction to, get to that place of self-knowing, of knowing what is going on for you easier, so here it goes. N stands for number, and that is what number of activation are you feeling right now? What number of stimulation? How active are your feelings right now? And the feelings part gets in there next, but what level of activation are you at? Are you at a 1 or a 10, and this doesn't mean positive or negative. It's not how pissed are you? 10 means pissed, no. 10 could mean happy, super happy, so excited, but it is the level of activation, how stimulated or activated are you right now? So that's where you start. Number, how stimulated or activated, how busy are my insides right now, what level of stirred up am I? So that's level, or question 1, N, okay? N, number, what number am I from 1 to 10? Then E, emotion. After we have said or found out, inquired about how stimulated we are, what's the emotion or emotions contributing, okay? What are the different things in there that have given me that 10 or that 1, Is it I'm not very stimulated at all, there's boredom or disconnection or indifference, or I'm super stimulated, I'm at level 10 and there is anger or despair or frustration or man, maybe there's boredom there too, but it's like level 10 boredom. I don't know. So I don't know how you could be like stimulated and bored, but hey, this is actually not up to me to decide. It is all totally, subjective to you. So do whatever numbers you want. But then that next question for E is emotion. What emotions are in there? Then S is sensation. And so we're asking ourselves, what sensations do I feel in my body? Okay. And they don't have to be immediately, because of the stimulation or because of the emotion. Like they don't have to be immediately related. I'm just saying, what are all the you're just doing like a full body scan. You're doing, what's my level of stimulation? What are the emotions that are in there? And then now I'm asking, what are the sensations? Like, my hands feel cold, or the back of my head is itching, or my back really hurts, or, I'm really tired today, or, whatever. But what are some sensations? And these are more body sensations. So even if I say tired can be an emotion, and tired might also be a very physical sensation. So, you're making your distinctions, and this S letter is all about sensations in the body. And you're going through those too, asking yourself the sensations in the body. Then you are on to the T. All right. T is for thoughts. And you're asking and scanning through, what are the thoughts? What are the thoughts going on for me right now? All of them, like I've got a thought that, there was a bug flying by and I was irritated by it or whatever. You don't have to get into the emotions, but the emotions could be part of the thoughts for sure. Or I was thinking about how much I got done today and whether I got enough done, or I was thinking about yesterday when so-and-so said this, and or I was thinking about, the way that I must come off to that person over there that's looking at me. Or I was thinking about whether what I just said is going to make me seem like a jerk, or I wonder if that person got me right, or worried that if I make a decision about how I'm feeling right now, that'll have like further repercussions in this relationship or that relationship, or my productivity for the day, or if I stop to even do this activity, will this mess up my productivity for the day? These are the thoughts, right? And they can just get crazy. We know this, they can race, they can go off in all directions, and you're just kind of taking a little snapshot and trying to pinpoint or locate some of the thoughts. And they can continue from there, but we're just taking that snapshot for a second. Or for the day, if you're asking yourself the Nestr for the day, you can kind of summate if you want. But I like the snapshots better, and then kind of doing them throughout the day. So we've gone through N, E, S, T. And then the very last one, R, is, I kind of think of it as a bonus. It is a definite beautiful part of this. But I don't think that it's as, sort of central as the nest. But the R is kind of this bonus. I don't know, just totally my opinion. But it's like, even as I'm saying that, I'm like, no, but it is. It's so important too. So whatever. But R is your resource. Your resource. It is like, what can you be grateful for? And a lot of times when I hear people doing this one, their R is their physical resource. In fact, I think that originally that is how it was intended when Jason Gaddis was doing this. Like, what physical resource, like, well, my heart does feel really light and open today. Or actually, I do feel pretty grounded in my feet. Or, I have, really felt a sense of calm today, or so, whatever, but it's your resource. And, could be physical, definitely asking yourself what your physical sensation of, what you're grateful for, what is a resource that you can pull on to be able to make it through your day. But then I've also heard people saying it more in the non-physical as well. Like, I'm feeling really happy with all the laughter that I've had with my kids today, or something like that is a resource. It can be also. But yeah, you're saying what your resource is. What is fueling you right now? What stuff is, something that you're grateful for. I almost consider it like a gratitude as well, because that's always a resource, right? Like what we're grateful for. It's like fuel for us to keep going through our day, no matter the emotions or the stimulation or the, activation level, or the thoughts, no matter the thoughts or how many there are or what they are. We have this resource that we can say can be fuel, that we can pull on for fuel. So that is the full Nestr, Nestr. And I would say if we're doing this for a game, we're definitely doing this today and asking ourselves today in this moment and taking some practice doing it. But then I say, do it tomorrow too, and do it a third day. And by the third day, do it many times during that day. Do it at least 3 times in that third day. Whenever you think of it, just ask yourself, what's my Nestr? And scroll down the list. It does not have to be long and engaged. It might be for the very first time you try it, because you might not be very practiced at this, but that's kind of the beauty of this tool, is that you can get practiced at it, and it can be really quick. And that is also kind of this great reassurance and indicator that you and yourself are getting in greater connection, because you can ask yourself, what's my Nestr, and get a quicker answer. Number this, emotion this, sensation this, thoughts are these, my resource this. And it's just a great way to be in more touch with yourself as you are going through your day. I even think it's a really great way to help in decision making, because sometimes if you're about to make a decision, you are kind of scattered, and it's oh, how do I even really feel about this? Ask yourself your Nestr, and it can be about the decision, or it could just be in this moment. Because if you're thinking about the decision, you're in this moment can indicate stuff about the decision, absolutely. Or it could give you an idea of whether you are even in a good place to make a decision right now. I can't think about this decision right now because my Nestr is not what I would want it to be for that. And then the other thing that I kind of forgot to say, but I'm going to have to circle back around, you're going through the N and the E and the S and the T and the R, without necessarily needing to link them. You're just being real with what is, these are the thoughts, even though they don't have anything to do with those emotions, or at least, in the moment, you don't have to realize that they do. You're just spouting them out, in a no need to be, related or connected kind of way. But then, and always, of course, for further understanding, for further connection, and for further insight into what is going on with yourself, see if they are connected, see if they are. If you are at a level 10 and then you say, well, it's aggravated and I don't know why I'm aggravated. And then you start to feel sensations in your body. And one of them is I've had this really bad leg cramp all day. Well, that might be why you're aggravated. It can feed you information for the other ones. Or if you get to the thoughts section and you realize that every single one of your thoughts has been about something that you haven't gotten to, it's every single one of my thoughts, or the majority of my thoughts today, have been about something that I haven't gotten to do yet. That project or that thing that I said I was going to do and I just haven't gotten to. Maybe that's the aggravation, and you didn't know why you just felt aggravated when you first came up with that word aggravated. But then, this, immediately starts to connect the dots for you, which is what I love about this nice little tool. Because now that you've gotten to the thoughts, you're oh, okay, no wonder I'm feeling aggravated. I keep having these thoughts about, whatever, something that I'm, really aggravated about, that I haven't gotten to this thing. Or, no wonder I'm feeling drained. I keep having thoughts about something that I want to do, but I haven't done. or, you know, I keep having thoughts about not getting enough done and being unproductive and like just negative self-talk thoughts. Like, no wonder I feel drained. I'm like draining myself by talking down to myself all day, you know, whatever. So, and then your resource comes in and you like get to say what your resource is. And then once it's out there in front of you, like, well, I am feeling kind of grounded today, or my heart is kind of open today. Like, use it, use that resource then. And like, okay, that's where I could get some fuel in being grounded. Okay, you know, or wow, that's where I could get some fuel in, you know, laughing with my kids. Let me go do some more of that to like get me through the next stuff that I need to do. So anyway, like I said, I love this thing. I could go on, but let's do it. Let's do it and do it for 3 days, as I said, and like see how good you get at it. Use it forever. Use it for the rest of your life if you want to. If you really, you know, find, as I have, that it helps you get in deeper connection with yourself. But that is what we are playing today in the attempt, in the experiment, towards getting deeper connection with ourselves.